During the 20th century, the United States experienced the Red Scares, more than once, which dominated the nation's politics and raised the most controversial chapter in the history of the United States. The Red Scares were eruptions of hysteria over political radicalism and were directed by politicians and the government. The term Red Scares comes from communists of the 1950s because of the Russian flag. This social, legal, and political disaster was caused by the desire of people to defend the nation's institutions from political radicals. Due to the Red Scares, thousands of people were arrested over suspicion. Others, their careers were completely destroyed, and the communists were forbidden from entering the United States.
The first Red Scare took place after World War I, which spread distrust of foreigners through the nation after the Russian Revolution of 1917. This distrust brought Americans great fear for the nation's well-being from anarchists and communists. This fear was caused by the lawmakers to create a piece of legislation aiming radicals. This created an environment in which more disasters could occur at any time. In 1919, the anxiety of the first Red Scares increased due to the wave of labor strikes. One of the organizations included in the labor strikes were the Industrial Workers of the World, which adopted violence and anarchist bombing episodes. After these events, all socialists such as writers, actors, and entertainers were considered threats to the state, and many of them were authoritatively blacklisted. After these events, all socialists such as writers, actors, and entertainers were considered threats to the state, and many of them were authoritatively blacklisted. In the 1920s, anti-radical fears over the Red Scare had begun to vanish, but to their surprise, the Red Scare came back after World War II. World War II brought new fears to many Americans, these fears such as fascism and Nazism, but soon this all changed and a new fear of communism once began. This time suspicion did not only fall on foreigners but also on U.S. citizens. These citizens aimed to weaken democracy by secretly being engaged in communist plans. Due to this, Congress of the United States decided to create the House Un-American Committee in 1938. HUAC from time to time inspected the communist subversion until 1969. However, in 1947, the United States government confirmed the nation that anyone involved in the communist activity would be seen as a threat to the nation's security rather than just a political ideology.
It is known that the first Red Scare was provoked by Attorney General A. Mitchell Palmer, who, while labor unions went on strike and a series of letter bombs were mailed to very important government figures, arrested thousands and deported hundreds in November 1919 and January 1920. This created a very violent environment in the United States because almost 27 incidents of this white mob took place through the whole nation. These events are also known as race riots. Due to this, more than 100 people were killed and more than 1,500 people were injured. On January 2, 1920, FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover led about 556 deportations of communist suspects nationwide. Since many left-wing leaders were immigrants, fear set in because foreigners were the major reason for the Red Scare. Due to this, a system of immigration quotas was established. Later on, the Wisconsin Democrat Joseph R. McCarthy gave more troubles to the Red Scare. He led a witch hunt for communists because, according to him, they were infiltrated in the highest level of federal government. In 1953, McCarthy made some unfounded accusations by gathering witnesses before his subcommittee. This cost many government employees their jobs and engrossed public attention. In 1954, McCarthy made another mistake of attacking the United States Army on television. This caused people to turn against him and end his campaign.